head that was on it. Hello, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me. First of all, you'll notice I'm inside. That is because despite the delightful sun, it's been crazy changeable weather today. So what I thought we would do for this week's video is to go outside and choose a plant and then take a cutting and bring it in here and I'll draw it inside. It's so interesting because as I was drawing this flower, I realised that my initial, the initial way that I saw it was really different to how it actually is. And as I was drawing, I realised that it's actually got these sort of clumps of kind of like little balls of flowers that then join together in sections. So it's like lots of these little balls of flowers that then come together into this longer shape. As I was doing it, I was also kind of realising why the butterflies probably really like it, because they've got those really long tongues and these flowers are very long and deep. The tube of the flowery bit is actually really long and bright pink, so you've got these purple flowers at the ends, at the tips, the sort of petals are purple, but then the sort of other bit of the flower, the stem, is this really quite fluorescent pink, and then this orange pop in the middle. But so I imagine their tongues go all the way down the fluorescent pink bit, and maybe they are sort of the perfect insect for this flower, in a way that like a bee is too bumbly and big. So maybe that's why they're really suited to butterflies. I'm not sure. We'll find out at the library.
We're back in the beautiful library in Penzance called the Morrab Library, in case you missed it last time or you're local and you want to come visit. So this week's plant, as you saw at home, is this beautiful purpley flower, and it's funny, I showed it to my mum and she was like, "So you know that plant?" And I was like, "I don't know the plant." So apparently it's something I should really know. So I'm looking forward to discovering what it is. It's definitely a flower this week, so I'm going to start with the wildflowers and places like that. And I'm excited to see what we discover. Let's find out. So, this is the plant that we're going to be looking for, and the first books that I've got are an atlas of the wildflowers of Britain and Northern Europe, which you'd say would probably have something to say about it. And then I found this amazing book, Concise British Flora in Colour. So I'm excited to see that. I'm already loving the illustrations and the colours of these. By W. Keppel Martin. And finally, this mega book, which looks really beautiful, called The Englishman's Flora by Geoffrey Gregson, which also looks amazing. So, I think I'll start with the wildflower atlas. So this is actually a map of the location of all these plants. Well, that's not going to help me identify it, but it could be interesting afterwards. We'll start with this Concise British Flora in colour. Lovely. Oh, sweet. So amazing seeing like the people who these books pass through. Last taken out in 2003. Wow. This book was published in 1965. Let's have a look. I found the plant that we did last week, which I couldn't find in like very many books. The Rumex acetosa, the wild sorrel. It's nice to see a more detailed illustration, and also like of the actual like seed head that was on it. It's nice to get clarification on that. But like this is the closest that I found to it, that one. Mentha, which makes me think that thing's in mint. It's definitely not mint, is it? that was much more like flowery flowers rather than I guess this was more of a shrub, so maybe I need to go down the shrub route. It's a lot. Okay, so in some form of desperation I have found a book called Flowers of the World, and the idea being that if it's not native then hopefully it will at least be in this book. Oh my goodness, I think I found it. So it's a otherwise known as a buddleia. Okay, definitely the same shape, which is fab. So I think this is definitely a buddleia. So this family consists of Dicotyledonous trees or shrubs, mostly tropical or warm temperature, with 4 sepals, 4 petals, 4 stamens, and a superior ovary. Buddleia is the butterfly bush. Oh, isn't that amazing? I got it right, it's for butterflies. That's amazing. I'm actually so happy to discover that. So buddleia is the butterfly bush, a vigorous shrub of 4 to 5 metres, suitable for any reasonable good soil in full sunshine. Interesting to discover that it's... The reason I couldn't find it is because it's not a native plant. Even though it is a wild flower, it's like not native. And so that's why I couldn't find it in, especially the older books probably, because maybe it hadn't spread quite as much back